Alright, what's up everybody? Back here with the build series. Nothing much has changed since the last time you saw this video, but we did clean up some wiring. I just went through with the manual, made sure that everything was to the factory spec. Before we continue, I'm actually just working on the handlebars here. Usually you might want to save that till later, but I want to get the cables routed before anything else is on there. We're not going to be fighting with the radiator hoses, not fighting with the tank or the plastics, anything like that. I want to get everything. I'm kind of a geek when it comes to factory cable routing and wire cable management and everything like that. So we got our harness exactly the way we want it. We're going to get our cables the same way. And really we're going to be continuing to build this bike up right up until about the point I feel like the plastics are going to go on. I'm going to build the rims. We got those back from powder coaters. So this will be a pretty full episode, probably some time lapse, maybe some close-up shots, but we're going to get this thing just about finished up. So that way the next video we can do our big reveal and the bike will be completely done. So we've got some new cables here. Yes, you should lube new cables. Not only does it add some lubrication, but it's also a rust preventative, so your cables will last a lot longer, even if they're brand new. So go ahead and lube your brand new cables. If you look at the HRC bike, they've actually got blue radiator hoses instead of the standard that comes, well, most kits will be red. So they actually use blue radiator hoses. So we'll get these on and the radiators, fill everything with fluid. Alright, so we've got all of our radiators on and our hoses. Here's the other side. Now let's move on to our linkage, subframe, airbox, everything on the back end of the bike. Okay, I think we're ready to give her another start. Now that everything's on it, let's see how she goes. Okay, a little bit of something. Uh-oh. What just happened? Something just go wrong? What's going on here? It feels like it's locked up. Oh boy, well. Looks like we get to open this thing back up again. Just gonna see if I can roll the engine over it all. I can go backwards, I can't go forwards. So we've got something going on with our valve train then. What it could be, I don't know. But we're hitting something. Can you hear that? Huh. In all honesty, I was hearing some sort of a noise, kind of when it was running. We had also just had it running too before, you know, the previous video. So I'm gonna take the tank off, take the valve cover off, see what I can see. All right, bringing you guys in close. There we go. Right off the bat, I don't see anything crazy. I need to check timing here. It might not be something with the valves at all. So what I'm noticing as I'm trying to turn this engine over is that even though none of the valves are depressed, like I'm not getting any sort of movement out of it whatsoever now. I'm gonna pull this bike off the stand, lean it over on its side, and then pull this ignition cover off and see what we can find out inside there. What is behind door number 1? Well, so much for conserving oil. Well, everything seems to be in the right place. On this side, let's put this back on then. Flip it over. See if we can't get our carpet covered in oil. Okay. All right, I'm just gonna see if I can get away with pulling off the clutch cover here. See what I can see. All of our bolts holding our clutch plates are intact. Huh. Well, I guess I was under the impression that the clutch basket can actually come out, and no. Transmission spins freely, so that's good. I'm curious actually with pulling the hub free if it actually, if the motor still spins over or not. That seems to work. So whatever it is, has to do with our clutch connecting the rest of the engine. All right. We'll see now nothing's going on. All right, so there's gotta be something floating around. All right, I apologize, but my camera died. We ended up taking off this engine cover over here. Took off, over here is where our kickstarter gears are. We've got our transmission here that holds our clutch basket on right there. We've got another starter gear that's usually over here. But what I ended up doing, so I pulled this basket free and rotated over the engine before I even took off this engine cover, and the engine freed up. There was absolutely nothing wrong with it. So if we go over to the bench, here's all the components that are behind this engine cover. Here's your kickstarter gear assembly. And I looked at these teeth and how they mesh up against the splines there and on the shaft. Looked at just this big primary gear here. This is what spins, you know, basically your clutch basket. It technically spins this gear, and then this gear spins your clutch basket down here. So I looked at all of these gears. All the teeth here are totally fine. There is nothing that is apparently wrong. And the engine now spins over completely fine. We did double check that the timing is correct. You see all those dots aligned there. So then we come over here to the cam side up here, and timing is correct, all good and lined up. So nothing's wrong, like we didn't skip any teeth here on the cam and smacking valves or anything like that. So actually the head, piston, everything, that's all fine. It's something else. And it's actually kind of worse when you can't figure out what went wrong. At least if something's broken, you know, you can fix it. We're gonna put it back together. We may end up needing to replace kind of just this whole Kickstarter assembly here because something's bent. Let me know if you guys have a CRF, if that's ever happened to you, for the engine just kind of lock up like that. We'll just have to see if it breaks again. All right, well, we got everything back together. Let's see what happens. We did it again, just like that. And it's done. And it's still locked. Okay, try to back it up a little bit. Let's put the cover back on again and kick it over. See if we can recreate it yet again. All right, so it's the next day. We've been doing just a little bit of research on this. And from what I can figure out, I think our issue that we're dealing with it just locking up just has to do with our Kickstarter itself. So I got in there, I looked at all the components, nothing seems damaged, but just in case there's kind of some pieces maybe floating around that's kind of getting caught in some gears, I used my big can of carb clean here, flushed everything out that could be flushed out, but I was just noticing that every once in a while this would skip some teeth, and I just think that the gears that are inside there for the kickstart are what's causing this to go wrong. So we put everything back together, we fired it up. I'll show you guys what it's like, how it revs, how it runs, and we'll go from there. All right, it is wheel time. Start off with the front wheel here. We need to get this good and heated up. Put our bearings in. Ooh, look at that. Straight into the bottom. Ooh, not quite on that one. Nice. All the way down and seated. And they're both in there. Awesome. All right, so we got these rims back from the powder coaters. Look at those babies, huh? Woo! Those are nice. The HRC bikes, they've all got some nice gloss black rims, so that's just what we went with. So let's lace these up and see what they look like on the chassis. So we went ahead and also got our rear wheel laced up and trued. Let's go ahead and get our rear sprocket on and our rear brake rotor on, as well as the front brake disc rotor, so we can get these tires mounted. All right, so I've got everything set up here. What I'm gonna use is this Baja no pinch tool. Not necessarily because I'm worried about pinching the tire tube, more like just kind of protecting the rim here as much as possible. Since they're brand new, we might as well get the most life out of the paint. So this is a really good tool to use to not ding up any of your rims. That was super easy.
That's what the love of money does.
That's gonna do it for this video. I am so excited for how this thing is turning out. I cannot wait to jump on this thing and ride it. Next video, we're gonna put on all the graphics and all the plastics, seat cover, things like that. Anything else left of the bike is gonna be next video. That's where this big reveal is gonna be with our Works Edition replica. It's gonna tie this whole thing together. It's all gonna make sense. Please stay tuned to next video. Until then, ride safe and live mud up.